Good evening, everyone. Episode 20. No Limits, Mike and Stace.
Episode 20.
Episode 20. Coming to you, a special evening. Instead of Friday or Saturday, it's Thursday.
Yep.
Somebody didn't want to be too tuned up when we have this conversation.
Yep.
Not naming any names, Stace.
Oh! I just got called out.
This is also our first episode with our new logo.
Yes, I love it.
Unapologetically, unfiltered.
That's us. Never know what you're going to get.
So there's that. Maybe we'll get some shirts made.
Yeah.
Like 4.
The electric bug is joining our conversation.
Get like 4 shirts
That's fine.
for the 4 people.
Yeah.
So it's tonight's topic.
Let's get into it.
It's a serious one. Tonight's topic is why Trump is going to lose or even win this election. So, to set the landscape for you, everybody knows we're in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a battleground state, a swing state, if you will.
Yep.
So, depending on what news, media outlet you watch, Fox calls it a swing state. So, this election really comes down to your swing states, your swing voters, whatever the hell you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have your states that are Democrat, like California. They're going to vote Dem.
The land of the nuts and the fruits? Yes, they are.
Texas, they're going to vote Republican. I mean, you have your states that are just...
But you already know what's going to happen.
Yes. So it comes down to really a handful of the battleground states.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the swing voters that Fox calls them, and the swing voter is somebody that doesn't vote for one party. They take whatever the nominee is, their position is, their beliefs on, and that's what they vote on. Sometimes they'll vote Democrat, sometimes they'll vote Republican.
Essentially, they're independents, like we are.
Yeah, essentially they are. So, being in one of those states, we get to see, the media, the local media, to be specific, hates Trump.
Yep.
Bottom line, they hate Trump. So, on the local media, he runs his mouth. He goes to these campaigns and he runs his mouth and he says shit that he shouldn't say. And guess what? What does the local media do? They latch on to the things he says. Mm-hmm. He was talking about fucking crowd sizes for days. Mm-hmm. Who gives a shit?
Right.
How many people show up? It doesn't really matter. But that's all over the news about how he cares about that. And your swing voters, guess what? They're watching that news.
Right.
So they're watching him only care about crowd sizes.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So
it's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm. He runs his mouth, and he chose somebody to run with him that runs his fucking mouth too.
You can't have that. You can't have 2 mouth runners.
You can't. And they are both running their mouths. And they're saying shit that the media is latching onto. And what your swing voters are watching is the local news.
Right. Of course.
So that's, what they're getting thrown at them. based on that, that's all you can lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because he runs his fucking mouth.
He does run his mouth.
If he would stick to policy, the policy differences between him and the Ugandan giant.
Well, that's technically what we all care about. So
Right.
that's what we want to hear.
Right. He can't help himself. He was going, I was watching, and it was on Fox News, I was reading it. He was giving one of his speeches,
Mm-hmm.
going about policy, his plans, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, he just veers off.
Squirrel.
And starts down the path of, name calling and, all this on Kamala and Walls. And I'm like, come on, man. Stick to the fucking policy.
But I think we're past that. Like, you don't need to call them names. Like, we already see. We don't need you to call them out and say what their faults are. We already see. What are you going to do? What are you going to do for us? We already know what they're saying that they're going to do for us. What are you going to do? Of course, he did have 4 years in there, so we kind of have a little bit of a knowledge of what we're, going to have.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really saying much.
No. The thing is, now no taxes on tips. Really, on all tips, or just a certain amount of tip? Like what, how does that look like? So somebody can make $50,000 a year in tips, and that would be essentially making 75, 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
There's no tax on it.
Right.
So
you actually will bring them home. Yeah.
Right. Is there a limit? And if you're not paying taxes on tips, then you're also not paying into Social Security, Medicare, and all of that.
Valid.
So, there's got to be a balance. And speaking of Social Security, no tax on Social Security, which, okay, I agree with that.
Sure.
To a point. The people that, and this is where it gets kind of sketchy, the people that use the system to get, Social Security when they shouldn't, they should pay taxes on it. But, the ones that have paid into it and retired or, got hurt or something, that's different, obviously. But, and I realize that that's tricky to try and, navigate
so
that.
It's either one or the other.
But
you could always have some kind of process in place. I'm just saying.
Right. But so what suffers then? People latch on to the fact that, okay, no taxes on Social Security. Cool. Mm-hmm. But then the money where's it going to come from?
Sure.
So
they already keep raising the retirement age.
Mm-hmm. So while I agree with it, I would just like to know more.
Right.
Instead of just, throwing shit out there to get people to talk, which, look, they all do it. Well, almost all of them. So, what Trump's, and I wish we had more listeners, and I wish he was one of them, because his path to victory is actually very simple.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for him, but it's very simple. It's simple because stick to policy. Don't run your mouth.
Right.
The only thing you're allowed to run your mouth out, if I was, his campaign manager, I would be telling him, look, the only thing you're allowed to run your mouth about is the fact that she will not do an interview. She has not done one since she's been nominated.
I don't think she speaks well.
She doesn't.
Because
she says stupid shit.
Right, because she hasn't been to the border and this and that and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And just, she reiterates a lot of things, and it's very difficult to watch her, even in just a small interview, let alone for her to come out and actually speak.
Yes.
But, honestly, I'd like to hear what she has to say. Are they going to debate?
They're supposed to debate, I believe, next month. So I'm curious to see how that
We're
goes
gonna have
because
some popcorn ready for that.
she was horrible at debates. But like I said, that's his path to victory. Stick to policy. If you're the only thing you're allowed to run your mouth on is the fact that she won't do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't call her dumb or anything like that. Just stick to the fact that she won't do an interview.
Right.
At some point in time, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, wait, why won't she do an interview?"
Right.
And then, if you have any type of computer savvy, tech savvy at all,
Mm-hmm.
you can go and look up some of her old interviews that she's done. She's not good. How is she going to have a conversation with Putin?
Right.
I mean, she's. I don't know how she was a prosecutor because she's
I thought you were going to
horrible.
say prostitute. I mean, I guess she did sell herself to the government.
But she's horrible. You know, if she's asked a question, and she's asked questions, and then she can't think of the answer, right? And people know that, so you're going to have people they're going to try and slip you up. I do agree with Trump. He's holding all these different press conferences,
Mm-hmm.
Getting himself out there, and I know he's doing it on purpose, but I agree with that. But again, stick to fucking policy.
Sure.
And that's what he won't do.
Right.
Because he likes to flap his gums.
He does.
And so does apparently Vance.
I haven't heard him say anything. He apparently was just in Lower Borough today.
Mm-hmm.
Like to see that. I'm sure it was on the news. I didn't actually see any of it.
Yeah, it was by invitation only.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they didn't even really announce it until just the middle of this week.
But that's all Trump wins or loses this election. Oh. Okay. So Kevin was barking at the neighbor, so we had to pause you guys real quick.
We three are back.
Yeah, we threw it well before the electric bug out there.
Yeah.
Doing his thing,
Yep.
her thing. I don't know, what it is. And I just saw something else while we were paused there for 30 seconds. I think the other thing that I would, if I was Trump's campaign manager, that I would allow him to run his mouth on
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that she's the nominee. She got 0 primary votes,
Right.
yet she's the nominee.
Yeah.
The runner-up, I forget the guy's name from Creepy Joe. There would have been a runner-up.
Yep.
I forget his name. Why isn't he the nominee? He got more votes than she got.
This was a little bait and switch. Is what it was.
You think so?
I know so. And I read a comment. I don't remember if we discussed this already or not, but somebody said, why, if you're a Republican, why do you care who the Democratic nominee is? Well, why don't you sit down, friend, because I'm going to tell you why I care. Because perhaps, depending on what that Democratic nominee, who it is, and what they have to say, who's to say that perhaps they wouldn't get some Republican votes just saying, I didn't even get the choice. To me, that's not fair. Being an independent, perhaps I would have went the other way. You just never know. So you took that from a lot of us. Am I going to vote for her? Fuck no. So there you go. You made my decision real easy. Maybe I should say thank you.
Well, this was a master plan, right?
100%. 100%. This was definitely a conspiracy.
Because
Listen,
how was she going to get in?
How's she going to?
How was she going to get in?
There's no way she was going to get other than this. I mean, right. It was exactly like I said. It was a good old bait and switch. There's a lot of things that go on back there behind the scenes that, do I think that elections are fair as they should be? No, they're not. I don't think that they're fair. I don't think that sometimes our voice actually counts, so to speak. I think they just do whatever the fuck they want and appease us, make it look like, they put on a real good show. Because it won't just be 4 more years.
No.
It'll be 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Definitely. And then, and her, I know that we've, talked about this on the last podcast we did, her running mate, let his city, or part of his state burn.
Yeah.
While his old lady opened up the windows so she could smell the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
These aren't good times we're living in right now. That's all I know.
We're not. And you have to recognize that your local media can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Sure.
And when you're talking about swing states, you have to make them your best friend.
But a lot of us don't get, I don't watch very much news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time. So I read a lot of my news.
Yeah. I watch in the morning, I watch Channel 4. And then I do go on to Fox News periodically and see what they have to say, because I know it's going to be a completely different perspective than
of course.
What I just saw. But then I look at Google News, because it has a mix of everything on there.
Yeah, it actually does. So
it'll show you articles from
nice
CNN
variety.
And articles from Fox News.
I read MSN News.
So, but a lot of people, do still watch the local news. And you gotta recognize that they are hurting your campaign because they have an agenda. I don't care, they're supposed to be unbiased, but they have an agenda. And their agenda is taking the 10 minutes that you rant about crowd sizes in 3 of your rallies back to back and blasting it all over the news. And then they have the Ugandan Giants running mates talking about who cares about crowd sizes, and everyone being like, yeah, who gives a shit about crowd sizes?
Yeah, they're
just spinning the narrative, and that's a problem. You got to be smarter.
Well, I honestly think that at this point, people, it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus, to be honest with you. All the shit that they're feeding us, you don't know what's true, you don't know what's not true. Essentially, you just have to read, do your own research, and kind of just go with your gut. Because is it really going to matter in the end? If you want my opinion, no, it is not. That's just, I've turned into quite the conspiracy theorist lately. I mean, I would say before I was, slightly, but now, when 1 plus 1 isn't equaling 2, and it hasn't for quite some time, you maybe want to step back and be like, what the actual F?
Yeah. You get along real good with Chad and Sherry.
Yeah, I would.
What's the name of their podcast?
Is it like Conspiracy Earth Podcast or something? Some of their stuff's real outlandish.
It is.
I do enjoy listening to them, though.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because they had like the biblical series that I enjoyed listening to, and stuff that they talk about that's political and whatnot. They do kind of talk about like aliens and Bigfoot, and that's a little bit It's a little bit outside of my... I don't really...
Your realm of expertise?
Yeah, I don't really have anything much to... I don't have anything to say about that. I don't have an opinion either way, to be honest.
You gotta have an opinion on Bigfoot. You got all kinds of Bigfoot gear.
I love Bigfoot. Do I actually think he's roaming around somewhere? No.
Yeah. I keep getting messages when Chad and Sherry, when they do post a new podcast, I get it. And then Ben Shapiro, I get his. And Joe Rogan. That's a weird fucker.
He's weird. I do enjoy some of his stuff, but like, my God, he will have like a 3-hour podcast, and I'm like, dear God, that's like half a day's worth of work.
He has all these people. I don't even know. Like, maybe I should know, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I really only listen to like who I know that he has on there, because otherwise it's like, I don't really care. Except for that one guy. Didn't he have somebody on that was like screaming, and it was kind of actually hilarious?
I don't remember. I enjoyed the Undertaker.
The workout guy. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, get up and do it! And he like, and it was just funny as hell. I don't even know who he was. I just remember that, and I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. But I'm listening to some of his stuff.
You were talking about Trump. His interview that he did with Dr. Phil.
That was a good interview.
More people should listen to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you actually get to hear, if you want to hear about the man and some of his beliefs, the direction, that he wants to take the country without all the ranting. Mm-hmm. Listen to that podcast.
Because it was just those two. It was one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Phil is not going to sit there. He's not taking any shit. He's like, look, we'll sit down. We're going to chat about it, but that's it. Like, you're not going to lie to me. You're not going to,
And he brought him back in because he didn't answer a couple of his questions. He brought him right back in to answer that question. He asked him again.
Yes, he did.
And then he did answer it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he does. Trump does feed off of the crowd a lot, so I know why he runs his mouth.
But you're not an entertainer.
Right.
You're not a wrestler that's out there like...
You're not a Hulk Hogan out there.
You're not. Like, this is the highest and most serious position in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. I wish you would just take it a little bit more seriously.
Yes.
That's all.
Yep. Quit running your mouth.
Please.
Show up to a rally like you did for Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And see
even
what
if
happens.
You have to have a script. I mean, if you have to stay on task, you know what I mean? If that's the case, you do what you need to do. I don't know. It's already a done deal. I pretty much quit listening to things. Like, I'll read a little bit, this and that. It is what it is.
Well, they come up with new things, so I'm very curious when I hear about, something new, like, because Trump mentioned today about their tax on Social Security. So now I'm curious to hear more about it, because
I have to follow through on what he's saying about it.
Well, they never do.
No, of course not.
They say all these things to get elected, and maybe they want to do them, but then you have to work with the other side.
Well,
and because nobody can unite the two sides, nothing fucking gets done.
Well, that's just like the Ugandan giant. That's what we're calling her, right?
Yes.
When she's like, when I get elected as the President of the United States, I am going to change this policy and this policy and that policy. What have you been doing for the past 3.5 years? And technically you're the VP, so I mean, I'm sure you're sitting around those tables, so I'm sure you have a voice in some of these policies and whatnot. Why are you all of a sudden going to change it now because your title changes? You've had this opportunity and you haven't done anything. You haven't shown anything.
She's flipping the script on some of Creepy Joe's policies, too, that she backed, but now she's not.
So it's kind of like you either stand for what you stand for or you don't. Like,
maybe because Bidenomics is fucking a joke.
Yes, it is a joke. Just like we were talking earlier. Mm-hmm. On the price of... Like the article I read today just about the price of fast food, how expensive it is. These fucks are pricing themselves out of the market. Nobody's going to come and eat your crap no more.
Yeah, they went so McDonald's last night because you wanted the adult Happy Meal. Is that what it's called?
Yep. You don't have
The
milk because they have a
commemorative
cool,
cup.
Yep, retro throwback cup.
That burger,
I don't typically eat. Your only choices were the Big Mac. I guess I probably could have just bought the cup solo, but you know.
could you?
I don't know. What fun is that? So your choices are a Big Mac or is a 12-piece nugget meal. I like their nuggets. I don't know. I'm a burger gal. My kid is a chicken. She is chicken.
Connoisseur.
Yes. Myself, I'd rather have the burger. To each their own. So I get the Big Mac meal. Haven't had one in years. I mean, not saying we haven't had McDonald's. I do enjoy me a double cheeseburger. Well, at this point, it's a sample, but regardless. Used to have two pieces of cheese on it. You know, you used to actually be able to taste that there was burger on it. Okay, well, but there was one piece of cheese on it, and I was pretty hungry, and I left hungry.
Well, the burger was paper thin.
I ate all my food. And it was $12 for a Big Mac meal. You know, so it was a Big Mac fries. Of course, I got me a sweet tea. Because the Danks does know how to do the sweet tea. And my commemorative cup. $12.
Well, that burger was so thin so I make smash burgers on the Blackstone. I'm a big guy. I don't think I could smash a burger as thin as that burger is using all my weight. That's how thin that
I don't understand how people eat that. And people eat it like every day. It's sickening. It's expensive and it's sickening. And we were talking about...
But the economy's doing great.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about? The economy's doing great.
Yeah.
Bidenomics in full effect here.
Mm-hmm. Buy more, pay less. Put a big smile on your face, shut up and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
How about no thank you? We'll cook a burger at home. And in fact, one package, a pound of burger feeds us 2 meals because that's 4 burgers.
Yep.
And 100%, that's with a side, a salad,
mm-hmm.
a drink, the whole 9 yards. So it's essentially healthier.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we're not, even both meals aren't $12.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Of course, I don't ever get a commemorative cup. I mean, I'm just saying.
Maybe I'll have to design you a commemorative cup with our logo on it.
Yes.
There you go.
That's great.
Cup with our logo on it.
Yep, that's great. Yeah, but seriously, we were talking about Five Guys. You and I enjoy the Five Guys.
You like the Five Guys.
When we used to go, I'd get a burger, you get a burger, and we share fries, we each get a water. I mean, we don't get, I guess if you had like milkshakes and everybody gets a fry, and I imagine it adds up, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, we were looking at $35-ish. Mm-hmm. The last time we went, it was like $40-some, and I was like, what the frick?
And here's the kicker on all of that.
Yeah.
I used to get the double.
You
burger.
Get the double. Oh my God! So it would have been like almost $50.
I got a single.
What about almost $50 for?
Trying to watch, this figure over here.
So 2 cheeseburgers.
A
A
small fry.
Small fry and 2 waters. $50. No, thank you. I mean, that's insane.
That's a lot.
And that's not even, if we're going to spend $50, it's going to be.
We're going to Dad's.
Decent. Yeah, and we're not even going to spend. There'll be drinks on that.
Yeah.
So we'll have an appetizer, and we'll each get something, and each have drinks, and 50-ish.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Depends on how many drinks we have.
Well, take the drinks off, though, and even just say the
take
food.
the drinks off, and
we're not even looking at $50.
Food and appetizer. Yeah, it's less than $50.
Yes, and this is good quality. And not only is the food good quality, it's delicious as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, they use good quality ingredients, and it's just ridiculous. I honestly feel like the fast food perhaps will be... McDonald's is always going to be around because you're always going to have people that enjoy the disgustingness of it. But we'll see fewer.
The most we eat it is any type of fast food. The most we eat is when we're traveling.
Yeah, because
Travel days on the bike. When you're trying to get to point A to point B.
and we plan out our week, so we don't have to eat out.
Nope.
And then we do on the weekends, of course, because we work all week and we want to enjoy our weekend. Go have some dinner, some drinks. But then come Sunday, like we're eating lunch at home, we're eating dinner at home. Because it's just too expensive and it's not good. Now I will put some Taco Bell away. I do enjoy me some Taco Bell. I don't care what the meat is made of. I really don't care. It's delicious and I'm going to eat it. And it's still somewhat, you and I can both eat there for $20.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a full belly and a Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, 0 sugar, of course.
It'll be regular in the morning. It's fine.
It's all good. It's fine. Yeah. Maybe everybody needs to take notes from the bell.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because all these other places, McDonald's, Wendy's, are all that. So they've raised their prices and they shrunk their portions where they could, like McDonald's with the burgers.
Wendy's has done it. Just their quality is disgusting.
Burger King,
oh my God,
the Whopper is the size of a double cheeseburger.
It's a joke.
And the thing is, they're trying to make up for these people wanting $15 an hour.
Listen, flipping burgers is not a career. It never has been.
No, it's not.
I don't want to hear I work full time at McDonald's and I can't feed my family. Okay. Well, you're also not 17 in high school. You're not supposed to be able to feed your family. We're all supposed to start somewhere.
Right.
I mean, I had a job in high school. You had a job in high school. It certainly wasn't my career.
I worked at the hot dog shop, flipping hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't like an aspiration where it was like, I really feel like I'm going to be here the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't do that now.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my high school job. It was fun. I loved it. Made $4.25 an hour. Certainly didn't think I was going to have a mortgage on it. I had some common sense. That was a step to put gas in my ride.
Right.
Pay my car insurance.
Yep.
I was not planning on having a family on $4.25.
No.
Come on now.
But the economy is doing great under
great.
Bidenomics.
Meanwhile, you see all these other companies laying mass amounts of people off.
There was just an article I saw today about companies laying off. There were a bunch of companies that I didn't know of. I didn't know the names, but one of them was Cisco, and I know that.
Yeah, that's a food. Yeah, that's a food company. Oh my, I didn't know that.
They're laying
That's a food
off.
delivery, they deliver restaurants and whatnot.
So, but there's a lot of layoffs.
Well, didn't John Deere just lay off? Because I read something about a husband and wife both got laid off the same day. Way to go, Joey. Nice. Real nice.
And she's responsible for this too. The Ugandan giant. She is also responsible.
Way to go, UG. I mean, come on now. We don't see this. And then they try to spin it the economy was terrible under Trumpian. He got a great economy from Obama, and it was already on its way up from him. You fucking kidding me, man? Are you even kidding me right now? And then they throw in the good old government virus, which, again, being a conspiracy theorist at this point, that shit was planned as hell.
Unleash the Rune.
Exactly. We're in season whatever.
Don't say too much about the Rune. We don't want to get pulled from YouTube again.
Right. Because the facts, we're not, we can't see what the facts are, apparently.
We're not medical experts.
No, we didn't just live through it.
Right.
We lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
And had to watch their shit show. Mm-hmm. Anywho. Yeah. I mean, they're throwing him under the bus saying, it's his fault and the economy crapped the bed and this and that.
There's a portion that is his fault and he needs to take ownership. I don't know. He may have taken ownership for it. I don't know. But I know that a lot of the political cartoons that I've seen about the Ugandan giant is, and even Vance said she bent a knee to the far left. He bent a knee to the Democrats when COVID started. He bent a knee to Fauci. He
was put in a spot because it was damned if he did and damned if he didn't.
It was no win.
There was no way he was coming out of this.
But he chose to bend a knee and
could have just
shut
been
it
like
down.
sanctimonious, and he kept his shit open.
Yep. That was the other. Or he could have been like is it Sweden or Switzerland?
Sure, not sure, but I know what you're talking
about. One of the
about.
S's.
Yeah. Over there.
They were like, they just kept everything open. They were like, herd immunity. Here we go. Oh, we can't talk about this because we're going to get censored on YouTube.
Look what you did there.
So we won't talk about that.
All
Strike that from the record.
Strike it.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
Again, neither one of us are doctors. This is our opinion. As we've said so many times, take it for what it's worth. This is just us sitting around bullshitting. It's our opinion. It is what it is.
But Trumpy, any of your campaign managers, this is your recipe for victory. Right here in this 36-minute podcast.
Yeah.
This is your recipe for victory.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay attention or are you not?
Tell us what you're going to do, bro. Just tell us what you're going to do. We don't care about our crowds. We don't care about anything. Just what does the next 4 years look like for us when you're in there? Just write it out.
Yep, exactly.
What do the taxes look like? What's the economy look like? What are you going to do about gas prices? What are you going to do about this and that and the other? Let's concentrate on that. Let's write this shit down before we get up to the podium. Tell us that. Because that's really what us normal contributing members of frickin' society want to know.
Right.
That's what we want to know.
That's what we want to know.
That's the real question today.
Sure.
What are you going to do for us, Trump?
Yep. So pay attention, listen to our podcast, and win.
Yes, please. You want to see a big red wave? You are the only one that can actually make that happen. Unless, of course, this is a conspiracy and it goes on behind the scenes and we don't know anything about it. But I didn't say that.
Well, we'll talk about that after the elections in November.
I didn't say that. But no, seriously.
Yeah. All right.
Here's where his power's at. Now's when he has the control. There's no control once November hits and this all goes on. Do what you can. Pour your heart and soul into this right now and let's see it. Make it happen.
Yeah, run your mouth later.
Yes, run your mouth when you're standing up there.
Giving your victory speech.
Please. So. Christ.
All right.
Okay, on that note.
On that note, I think it's time we call it.
Let's call it.
Like I say, signing off.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.